is your vapor power cycle. Concentrate on Rankine cycle. Next, what are the methods to improve the Rankine cycle efficiency? Like concentrate on by adding the by increasing the boiler pressure, and second one is by decreasing the condenser pressure. Okay, so concentrate on PV diagram and TS diagram. So everything this diagrams tells. Okay, so explanation is one or two lines, but the diagrams are most important. So practice well these four diagrams. Okay, by increasing the boiler pressure and by decreasing the condenser pressure, and then after that we are having a regenerative cycle, etc. Okay, so I'll explain some important concepts of vapor power cycle. Okay. Okay, so before that, I'll show the PV diagram and TS diagram of simple Rankine cycle. Okay, so this is PV diagram. First one, what you are seeing in the diagram. Second one is TS diagram. Okay, TS diagram is important. So 1 to 2 is what? So here it is your adiabatic expansion. Okay, then 2 to 3 is your condensation, and then 3 to 4 is already studied this one. Okay, these are the parts. First you analyze the parts: boiler, turbine, condenser, and pump. These are the four basic parts of a Rankine cycle. Okay, so the first one is boiler, so where the steam formation takes place at constant pressure. So in order to convert the water into steam, we have to supply the heat. Okay, then only the phase transmission takes place. Okay, then we are having the turbine. Turbine is the one where expansion takes place, or the power generation takes place in the turbine. Okay, next we are having the condenser. Condenser is a device where condensation takes place, the temperature decreases, and then change in phase from vapor to liquid because of the decrease in the temperature. And one more device is there, that is called as pump. Okay, the pump, the main function of the pump is to increase the pressure. Okay, so these are the four basic parts of Rankine cycle. So first one is boiler, where steam formation takes place at constant pressure. Then turbine, where expansion takes place. Okay, Sorry guys, there was some problem in the internet. Okay, so I'll repeat once again. Okay, so I am discussing with the vapor power cycle. Okay. Okay, I'm explaining the Rankine cycle. Okay, as I said, Carnot cycle is the ideal cycle we cannot use because it is very difficult to achieve the isothermal process in the actual case. Hence, we are going for Rankine cycle. Okay, this is the Rankine cycle. So 1 to 2 is your reversible adiabatic expansion. 2 to 3 is condensation process. 3 to 4 is your pump work, that is pressure and temperature increases. 4 to 5 is your the regeneration work, means before passing the water into the boiler, first it enters into the regeneration, okay, where it is heated to the saturation temperature. Then from the saturation temperature it enters into the boiler, okay, so that in the boiler the heat addition takes place at a constant temperature, okay, that is isothermal heat addition. That's why you have to represent the horizontal line. Okay, this is first one, your flow diagram, and this is your the TS diagram. Okay, then how to find out the efficiency? Okay, so efficiency, as I said, okay, so what is the efficiency formula? Efficiency formula is net work done divided by heat supplied. So this is the standard formula you have to use for all the cycle. And what about net work done? Whatever the work done by the turbine minus work done in the pump, okay, means some part of the work whatever generated by the turbine is utilized to run the pump, okay, so the net work done is your WT minus of WP, that is net work done. And in case of gas turbine you have to take WT minus WC, that is the difference. In case of vapor power cycle, instead of C we are using the pump, that is net work done is your WT minus of WP. And next, heat supplied, and as I said, in case of vapor power cycle, the enthalpy, the temperature plays a very important role rather than pressure and volume, okay. That's why all the things you have to express in terms of enthalpy. The enthalpy is the property of system. H equals to U plus PV, that is the standard formula for enthalpy. Enthalpy is nothing but your it is mainly related to the internal energy. H equals to U plus PV. U is what? Internal energy. Internal energy is a function of temperature. Hence, whatever the terms in the vapor power cycle, you have to express in terms of enthalpy. So WT minus WP. So what is WT? So WT, as I said, you have to express in terms of enthalpy drop. Which one is highest value here? H1. H1 minus H2, your the turbine work. And pump work is what? You see the diagram. So compared to 3 and 4, 4 is the highest value. So H4 minus H3 is your pump work. So H1 minus H2 is your turbine work. So net work done is WT minus of WP. H1 minus H2 minus of H4 minus H3. Next, heat supplied. Where heat supplied takes place? Here, as I said, 5 is your intermediate point. It should not comes into the picture because this point lies on the saturation curve, and it is not we're not showing the part in the diagram. That's why don't consider this H5 because H5 does not play important role. So then what about the heat supplied? Is nothing but H1 minus H4. You have to take H1 minus H4, that is the heat supplied. So efficiency of Rankine cycle is given by H1 minus H2 minus of H4 minus H3 divided by H1 minus H3. This is the first basic formula you should remember to find out the efficiency of Rankine cycle, okay. So on the other hand, I'll compare with the Carnot cycle. So Carnot cycle, what is the diagram? Okay, I'll show the Carnot cycle diagram. Carnot cycle diagram is this one, okay. So here you see the diagram. There are 4 processes. 1 to 2 is your the adiabatic expansion only. 2 to 3 is your condensation, and then 3 to 4 is your adiabatic compression, and 4 to 1 is your this one isothermal heat addition. We don't have 0.5 because it is an ideal cycle. So directly we are having 4 process, and then based upon that one you are going to find out the efficiency. How you are going to find out the efficiency of Carnot cycle? So 1 to 2 is what is that? This one, heat supplied and heat rejected minus of heat supplied. Okay, so here once again same thing, WT minus of WC. Okay, here 1 to 2 is your WT. One to 2 is your WT, and 3 to 4 is your WP. So H1 minus H2 minus of H4 minus H3. This is your network done divided by heat supplied. Heat supplied at, so heat supplied is nothing but, as I said, how you are taking in Rankine cycle, same thing here you have to take. Okay, so here H1 minus H3. Okay, H1 minus H3. So whatever the enthalpy drop is there, you have to take that one. Okay, this is how to find out the efficiency. Now we are going to concentrate on Rankine cycle. Hope you understood the Rankine cycle. Okay, so this is first basic thing. Okay, then I'll tell how to improve the efficiency of Rankine cycle. Okay, so this is one of the major portion in the vapor power cycle. Okay, every time, so they used to ask, you see this part, effect of pressure and temperature in the Rankine cycle. Okay, first one, by means of condenser pressure. Okay, condenser pressure. In case of Rankine cycle, two pressures comes into picture. We are having the two parts, basically boiler and condenser. Okay, so as you supply more amount of the heat to the boiler, then the efficiency will be increases. Okay, on the other hand, suppose the heat rejection is less, then a low amount of the heat rejection leads to more efficiency. Hence, in order to improve the efficiency of Rankine cycle, we have to increase the boiler pressure or we have to decrease the condenser pressure. So these are the four things you should remember, four diagrams what I am seeing. First, I am explaining the effect of condenser pressure. Okay, means to reduce the condenser pressure. First, you analyze the PV diagram. Okay, as I said, PV diagram 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Okay, first you draw, and whatever this curve is there now, this is a saturation curve. So this is the nature of saturation curve in PV case, and whatever diagram you are seeing, first you have to draw the nature of saturated curve in PV and TS diagram. This is the first important thing. Then after that, you have to write the all the process. First, this is a basic step. You have to draw the saturation curve. You see the cursor. This is a saturation curve. Nature of saturation curve in PV case, and this is the nature of saturation curve in the TS diagram. Okay. So first, normally you draw the Rankine cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your the normal Rankine cycle. Okay. So what is this one? In order to increase the efficiency, as I said, we have to decrease the condenser pressure. So after that, what you can do, just you drag this one, you mark this point as PB. PB means boiler pressure. Okay, and just you extend it and mark that point as PC is condenser pressure. Okay, so you remember it's a PV diagram. Okay, so this is pressure corresponding to boiler PB, and this is PC, the pressure corresponding to condenser. Okay, in order to decrease the condenser pressure, you have to show one more parallel line below this line. Okay, call that point as PC1. Okay, so PC is your original condenser pressure. So in order to decrease the condenser pressure, you have to draw one more line. Okay, you draw one parallel line. Okay, and here you draw one more parallel line with respect to 3, 4. The very simplest way is just you draw two parallel lines. One line 2 dash 3 dash parallel to 2, 3, and one more parallel line 3 dash 4 dash parallel to 3, 4. This work is over. Okay, first you analyze the PV diagram. First you draw the saturation curve. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1 is your normal Rankine cycle. When the condenser pressure is decreased, you have to draw two parallel lines. That things you have to do extra. Okay, one parallel line 2 dash 3 dash parallel to 2 3, and another line 3 4 parallel to 3 dash 4 dash. So this work is over. Now come to your TS diagram. Okay, as I said, so you have to draw these two diagrams so without any mistake. Okay, next, how to draw TS diagram. Okay, so TS diagram, first you draw saturation curve and then you draw the normal Rankine cycle. 1 2 3 4 5 1 is your normal Rankine cycle. Then how to write the new thing, that is by reducing the condenser pressure. Okay, so as I said, as pressure decreases, temperature also decreases. For that purpose, you have to draw one more line, that is 2 dash 3 dash parallel to 2 3, and one more line 3 dash 4 dash parallel to 3 4. Very simple. First you draw normal diagram 1 2 3 4 5, and then so just you take some distance below 2 3 and draw a line 2 dash 3 dash parallel to 2 3, and you draw one more parallel line, so 3 dash 4 dash to 3 4. This is how to complete PV diagram and TS diagram. Okay, so any doubts guys in this one? First you analyze the PV diagram and TS diagram. Any doubts? Okay, so next I'll proceed. Okay, regarding the explanation part. Okay, so very simple. So explanation part, you see the diagram, TS diagram. Okay, so when you decrease the condenser pressure from PC to PC1, okay, then then there will be more area available. So whatever the area under PV gives the work done during that one. So whatever the area under 2 dash 3 dash is more than 2 3. Obviously, we can say that when more area is available, more work done takes place. Okay, as when more work done takes place, so there will be more efficiency in the cycle. Okay, hence just one word. Okay, so by the diagram it is clear that the area under 2 dash 3 dash is more as compared to 2 3. Hence the more work done by the turbine. When the more work done takes place, the more efficiency of the cycle. Hence, by decreasing the condenser pressure, so we can increase the work done and thereby increasing the efficiency of a Rankine cycle. Okay, so this is how to explain. Explanation is very simple. Okay, but you have to analyze the PV diagram and TS diagram. Okay, remember, first you have to draw normal Rankine cycle and then you have to draw by reduction of condenser pressure. This is a new one. So just you draw two parallel lines here and two parallel lines here. Okay, one line parallel to 2 3 and another line parallel to 3 4. Okay, and explanation is by the PV diagram, it is evident that the area under curve 2 dash 3 dash is more as compared to the area under 2 3. Hence, the more work will be done by the turbine. When the more work is done, then there obviously there will be increase in the efficiency. Hence, the condenser pressure plays an important role in the efficiency. So whenever we are having low condenser pressure, obviously we'll get the high thermal efficiency of a Rankine cycle. Okay, this is the first part. Then second part is how to get by increasing the boiler pressure. Okay, first part is reduction in condenser pressure. Second part is the increase in the boiler pressure. Okay, before that, first I'll tell how to draw PV diagram and TS diagram. Okay, so as usual, draw two coordinates P and V. Next step is you have to draw the saturation curve. Next, you have to draw the normal Rankine cycle. You see, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is your normal Rankine cycle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. 1 to 2 is your adiabatic expansion, 2 to 3 is your condensation, 3 to 4 is your pump work, 4 to 5 is your regeneration, and 5 to 1 is your the isothermal heat addition. So these are the 5 processes in the normal Rankine cycle. Okay. Next, how to draw? By increasing the boiler pressure, means you have to leave some distance from the existing line. What you can do, so just you process this one, just instead of 4, just you continue that curve, mark that point as 4 dash 5 dash. Next, you draw one more horizontal line which cuts the saturation curve at 2 points, 5 dash and 1 dash over. Okay, means the line 451 is parallel to 4 dash 5 dash 1. Okay, so first step is draw the saturation curve. Next step is draw the normal Rankine cycle 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Next, to increase the boiler pressure, you have to draw a line 4 dash 5 dash 1 dash to 4 5 1. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 is your the normal Rankine cycle. And one more thing, you draw one more parallel line. So here we are having 1 2, and then you draw a line 1 dash 2 dash. You see the diagram, so see the cursor. So draw a line 1 dash 2 dash parallel to 1 to 2. This is how to draw the increased boiler pressure to improve the efficiency of a Rankine cycle. Okay. 1 2 3 4 5 1 is the original cycle. Next, you have to draw parallel line 4 dash 5 dash 1 parallel to 4 5 1. Then what is the new cycle? 1 dash 2 dash 3 4 dash 5 dash and 1. So this is the cycle what we are getting after increasing the boiler pressure. This is how to draw the PV diagram of increase in the boiler pressure. Okay, next part is how to draw TS diagrams when boiler pressure is increased. Okay, first step, so you show T on the Y coordinate and S entropy on the X coordinate. Next step is, so you have to draw saturation line. You see the saturation line. Okay, so there will be a little bit less deviation in the PV diagram. You see the diagrams, observe carefully, saturation curve, it is a less deviation. Okay, and it's the more deviation in case of a TS diagram, that is a saturation curve. Okay, next, as I said, you have to draw the normal Rankine cycle 1 2 3 4 5 1. First, always you have to draw the normal Rankine cycle. Then you have to increase the boiler pressure. Increase the boiler pressure means you have to take some distance above the normal curve. Okay, 1 to 5. Next step, what you can do, so that here 3 4 is already there, 1 2 3 4 5, just you extend that 3 4 to 4 dash. Okay, just you extend the line 3 4, then mark the point as 4 dash. Okay, next you have to draw a line 4 dash 5 dash parallel to 4 5. Okay, this is the next step. So first you draw the line 4 5, then after that you have to draw a line 4 dash 5 dash parallel to 4 5. Okay, next you are, okay, don't show this 5 dash on the saturation curve. You have to show somewhere within the outside the saturation curve. Okay, 4 5 is the original regeneration. 4 dash 5 dash is what we are getting after increasing the boiler pressure. Okay, next 5 dash 1 dash, just you draw a line parallel to 5 1. Okay, and then one more is there. Next point, after getting 1 dash, you draw one more line parallel to 1 2 and mark that point as 2 dash. Okay, so I'll repeat once again. So how to draw the TS diagram? Okay, mark the point T on the Y coordinate, S on the X coordinate. Okay, so first you draw the normal Rankine cycle 1 2 3 4 and 5 1. Okay, next step is, so you have to extend this line, mark the point as 4 dash, draw a line 4 dash 5 dash parallel to 4 5. Okay, we have to draw exact parallel line. Next, from 5 dash, draw one more horizontal line till it cuts the saturation line at some point. Okay, so this mark this point as 4 dash, next 5 dash, and then 1 dash. Okay, and then from 1 dash drop down, okay, till it cuts the 2 3 line at some point. Mark that point as 2 dash. Or this is how to draw the PV and TS diagram when the boiler pressure is increased. Okay, then after that you have to write 1 2 3 4 5 is your normal Rankine cycle, 1 dash 2 dash 3 4 dash 5 dash 1 is modified Rankine cycle when the boiler pressure is increased. Okay, so you have to write that one. Okay, Rankine cycle is 1 2 3 4 5. After increase in the boiler pressure, we are getting the cycle as 1 dash 2 dash 3 4 dash 5 dash and 1. Okay, this is how to draw the PV diagram and TS diagram when the boiler pressure is increased. Okay, so then regarding the explanation part, okay, so as I said, when you supply more amount of the heat, okay, obviously there will be heat addition takes place more. When the heat addition takes place is more, in that case we'll get the efficiency. Okay, so with the help of DS diagram also you can explain. As we studied in the Carnot cycle, the efficiency of Carnot cycle is 1 minus T minimum divided by T maximum. Okay, so whenever the input heat temperature is increased, obviously you will get the more efficiency. Here also with the help of TS diagram we can explain. You see the area under curve phi 1 is less than that of the area under curve phi dash 1 dash. Okay, so a little bit increase in takes place, so that we are going to supply the more amount of the heat, okay, isothermally. So by adding the more heat, so that we'll get the more efficiency. With the help of TS diagram also we can explain. Okay, explanation is very simple. You have to compare the two lines, only two lines you have to compare. Okay, 1 dash and 5 dash and 1 5. The area under curve 1 dash 5 dash is more as compared to the area under 1 5. Okay, hence the more amount of the heat is transferred to the cycle. When the more amount of the heat transfer takes place, obviously you'll get the more cycle efficiency. Hence these are the two important things. By reducing the condenser pressure and by increasing the boiler pressure, so we can improve the efficiency of Rankine cycle. Next part I'll explain okay, regenerative cycle or reheat cycle. I'll explain one more. Okay, okay, reheat cycle. Okay, as I said, by increasing the pressure, so we can increase the efficiency, and by decreasing the condenser pressure we can increase the efficiency. One more is there. Okay, reheat Rankine cycle. Okay, so how you studied, there are three important methods to improve the cycle efficiency in case of gas turbine. One is reheating, intercooling, and regeneration. Like that, we are having one more part called as reheat Rankine cycle. Okay, so this is the reheat Rankine cycle. I'll explain the things. Okay, in the normal Rankine cycle we are having the only one turbine, but in case of reheat Rankine cycle, so we are having the HP turbine and LP turbine. You remember in the exam they'll ask explain the reheat cycle with the sketch and TS diagram. In vapor power cycle, all the diagram you have to explain with the TS diagram and also the flow diagram. Okay, so what we studied previously, the normal Rankine cycle, we are having the only one turbine. In case of reheat Rankine cycle, so instead of expanding in one turbine, the steam gets expanded in two stages. One is HP turbine and one is LP turbine, and a common shaft is connected in between HP turbine and LP turbine, and this is the generator coupled to the shaft. Okay, so first you have to analyze the reheat Rankine cycle. So instead of one turbine, you have to show the two turbines. Then you have to join HP turbine with the boiler. So this is the boiler, and then from the boiler you have to join with the LP turbine. So these are the two additional things. From HP turbine you have to show the line of connection with the boiler, and then from the boiler to LP turbine, and remaining parts are same, no change. But here, instead of, in case of normal Rankine cycle, 1 to 2 is your expansion in the turbine, but here 1 to 2 is your the isentropic expansion in the HP turbine. Next, 2 to 3 is your the heat addition in the boiler. 2 to 3, this is the most important part in the reheater. 2 to 3 is the heat addition in the boiler. Then you have to join that 0.3 with the LP turbine, and remaining process same. Okay. Then how to show in TS diagram, that is most important thing. Okay, as I said, so you cannot show the 0.1 on the saturation curve, because the whatever the steam it is supplied to the boiler, it is in the superheated condition. Okay, in all maximum cases the superheated steam only supplied to get the maximum efficiency. So hence you have to represent 0.1 little bit above the saturation curve. Okay, so don't, because suppose you're having horizontal line, no, don't show on that line, just you take some distance and then mark that point as 1, because 1 is nothing but your condition of superheated steam. Any doubts? Okay, any doubts? Okay, the 1, so you have to show 1 is little bit above the saturation curve. Okay, so then 1 to 2, so 1 to 2 is your what? The isentropic expansion in the HP turbine. Okay, then 2 to 3 is what? It is reheating. So the whatever the steam expansion takes place HP turbine, it enters into the boiler. So where heat addition takes place. Okay, so you have to show the line 2 to 3. Okay, so here you see we are having two parallel lines. 1 to 2 is your the isentropic expansion in HP turbine. Next, 2 to 3 is your the reheating process, what we are explaining here, reheating process. Next, 3 to 4. 3 to 4 is what? Your 3 here and 4 here, means it is the isentropic expansion in LP turbine. Okay, 4, and you have to show the 4 little bit below the saturation curve. Don't show the 0.4 exactly on the saturation curve, because the condition of the steam on the saturation curve is dry saturated, but here we have to show it is in the wet state. Okay, so that 3 to 4 is your the isentropic expansion in the LP turbine, and remaining 4 to 5. 4 to 5 is your what? The condensation process at constant temperature. 5 to 6 is your pump work, and then 6 to 7 is your regeneration. Okay, 7 is not there here. Okay, no need, because no need to mention that part in the flow diagram. 5 to 6 is your pump work, 5 here and 6 here, pump work, and then 6 to 7 is your regeneration work. No need to show the regenerator in the flow diagram. Then 7 to 1. 7, what you can do, just you join horizontally on the saturation curve, and one more is there. Okay, so from 1 just you drop down and mark that point as 8. Okay, now hope you analyze the diagram. Okay, I'll repeat once again. In case of reheat Rankine cycle, so the steam is expanded in two stages. One is in HP stage and one is in LP stage. So after expanding the steam in HP stage, so that enters into the boiler where the heat addition takes place. That reheated steam is enters into the LP turbine. Okay, once again the expansion takes place, and the final this one steam expanded in the LP turbine, and then it enters into the condenser where condensation takes place, the change in phase from vapor to liquid, and from the condenser it enters into the pump. Pump means what? Increasing the pressure. So then from 6 to 7, 6 to 7 means what? Where regeneration. So before supplying the water from the pump, first it enters into the regeneration where it is heated to the saturation temperature and then enters into the boiler. Suppose if you supply the cold water directly to the boiler, so that it will take a lot of time for the generation of the steam. So rather than supplying the cold water directly from the pump to the boiler, first we have to pass to the regenerator. That is nothing but 0.7. When you supply the water to the regenerator, little bit heat addition takes place, and then so you can easily convert that preheated water from the generator to the boiler, so that process will be smooth. Hence you have to show the point on the saturation curve. Okay, and just one more point is there, 8. Just you have to drop down 1 to 8. Okay, on the horizontal line, mark that point as 8. So this is how to draw the reheat Rankine cycle. Okay. Okay. Then how the efficiency will be increased using the reheater? That means, so suppose if you are not having the reheater, then the dryness fraction will be more in case of normal Rankine cycle, around 0.9, 0.98, etc. So when you heat that expanded steam in the boiler, so then you are going to supply LP turbine, means the dryness fraction of the steam will get reduced in case of the steam turbine. When the dryness fraction of the steam is reduced, means that the condition of steam is good. So when the condition of the steam is good, so you'll get the more efficiency. Hence, whatever the dryness fraction with reheating is less as compared to the dryness fraction without reheating. That is the reason. Okay. Hence, in this way, we can increase the efficiency. Okay. This is how to explain a reheat Rankine cycle. Okay. Next, I'll explain one more regenerative cycle. Okay. One more part is there, regenerative cycle. Okay. Normal regenerative cycle. So this is what you are seeing. This is called as a regenerative cycle. Okay. So regenerative cycle means, as I said, we are having the turbine. The large amount of the heat loss takes place due to the exhaust gases. Next, we have to make use of that whatever heat content in the exhaust gases for the next cycle of operation. That is a main motto behind the regenerative cycle. Okay, so ideal regenerative cycle. Okay, ideal regenerative cycle means, you see the diagram. So in case of, you have to highlight the turbine. On the outer periphery, we are having the annular spacing. It is like a tubular structure. Okay, in the tubular structure, and it is placed above the turbine. That one extra thing you have to show in the ideal regenerative cycle. And remaining process you have to show same. Condenser is there, pump is there. So in normal Rankine cycle, after pumping the steam directly enters into the boiler, but here after pumping the condensate from the condenser, it enters into the outer periphery. That is the difference between your normal Rankine cycle and ideal regenerative cycle. Okay. Next, how to draw the TS diagram. Okay, as I said, first always you have to draw the normal Rankine cycle. So you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 dash or 5 we can show, and then 1. Okay, so this is your normal Rankine cycle. Then how to show your regenerative cycle. Okay, so here you have to draw one more line. You are having 4, 4 dash already there. It is normal Rankine cycle. Here you have to draw a line parallel to 4, 4 dash. You know, same way you have to draw one more parallel line here. Okay, and then just drop down. And one more point is there. So you have to take this point exactly at the same horizontal line and then drop down. Okay, this is how to draw ideal regenerative cycle. Okay, so first thing is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is your normal Rankine cycle. So for the regenerative cycle, you have to draw a line 4, 4 dash parallel to this line. Just you draw a line parallel to this line and then drop down. Okay, next in this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 dash and 1 is your normal Rankine cycle. So 1, 2 dash, directly you have to take this point. Okay, don't mention anywhere, or you can say some x or y point here. 1x, 2 dash, 3, 4, 4 dash, 1 is your regenerative cycle. Okay, so that's why first you have to draw the flow diagram and TS diagram. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 dash 1 is your normal Rankine cycle. 1, you mark this point as some x. Okay. Next 1x 2 dash 3, 4, 4 dash 1 is your the regenerative cycle. Okay. So I'll explain the process. Okay. You remember the diagrams are most important. Okay. First you have to draw the diagram and then explain the thing. Okay. I'll explain the process. So whatever we are going to start with the condensate here. Okay, in an ideal, okay, it's not actually, remember, ideal is different, practical is different. Okay, ideal, in an ideal regenerative cycle, whatever the condensate coming out from the condenser, it enters into the pump, and then the pump circulates whatever the water from the condenser, it circulates around the annular space. This is called as annular spacing around the turbine casing. It is a some space is there on the turbine casing, that is called as annular spacing. So whatever the condensate after coming from the condenser first enters into the pump, and then from the pump it enters into the annular space which is provided on the turbine casing. Okay, as I said, in case of turbine, the expansion takes place. Okay, and then the steam flows. Okay, and it contains high temperature, so that heat is transferred from the heat of the steam transferred to the water which is circulating around the annular spacing. So by that means the heat exchange takes place. Okay, that heat exchange takes place, you remember. So instead of this one directly circulating from the pump to the boiler, first it enters into the annular spacing. Okay, when it enters into the, you remember, it's a condensate. Condensate means what? Water. So that this water takes the heat from the steam. Okay, so there will be exchange of the heat takes place. Okay, because of this the water gets heated. Okay, and that water, you can see the line, so that water, so it is a heated one which gets the heat from the steam in the turbine, and that preheated water enters into the boiler. Okay, like that we can take the preheated water from the turbine to the boiler, and then from the boiler it enters into the turbine. Okay, so instead of taking directly from the pump to the boiler, first it enters into the whatever the space provided on the turbine casing, it gets the heat, and then that heated water, then it enters into the boiler. You remember, so instead of supplying the cold water directly from the pump to the boiler, first it has to be preheated. Suppose you preheat it, and then the quantity of the heat required is less in case of boiler to convert into the steam. That is the main reason. Okay, that is called as regeneration, means the preheating of water before entering the boiler, that is called as regeneration. That reheated water from the it is a steam. Sorry, it is a steam. The steam from the boiler enters into the turbine, then the expansion takes place and then enters into the condenser. Like that, you have to show the diagram. Okay, this is the ideal regenerative Rankine cycle. Sometimes they may ask the efficiency of the ideal regenerative cycle. Okay. So here you remember the diagram, T1 and T4 dash are same, T2, T2 dash and T3 are same, T4 is different. Okay, from the diagram it is clear that you have to mention T1 and T4 dash. So what is the cycle efficiency? Okay, so the cycle efficiency is as we studied in a Carnot cycle, that is Qs minus Qr divided by Qs, or we can write 1 minus Qr by Qs. So this is how to find out the cycle efficiency. How we got this equation means Qr minus Qs divided by Qs, or we can write in a simplified form of 1 minus Qr by Qs. Okay, Qr by Qs, where the heat rejection takes place, T2. Okay, so here T2. So 1 minus Qr by Qs is 1 minus of T2 by T1. So T1 and T4 dash are same, and then T2, T2 dash are same. 1 minus Qr by Qs. Qr is what? 1 minus T2 divided by Qs is what? 1. So 1 minus T2 by T1. So the equation is very similar to your Carnot cycle. Same thing we are getting in case of Carnot cycle. So directly you can write the efficiency is very similar to our Carnot cycle efficiency. Remember, whatever I explained, this is your ideal regenerative cycle. Okay. So like that, we are having the practical regenerative cycle. Just go through and analyze these things. Okay, only two things are there. Okay, one is open feed water heater and closed feed water heater. Okay, I have posted all this material in the Google Classroom. Just go and analyze. Okay.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
so what all
Tell
derivations
me.
are there from this module?
Derivation are okay. So just to concentrate on whatever I explained. No, one is reheat cycle to find out the efficiency. Next, practical regenerative cycle. What you are seeing on the screen, regenerative cycle with a closed feed water heater. No derivation. Just you have to write the efficiency of this cycle enough. Okay, derivation is not there. Okay, you see, simple formula. Okay, what I explained. No, QR minus QS. Uh, what I'm saying, what you are seeing on the board is regenerative cycle with open feed water heater. So we have to explain first the block diagram, then TS diagram, and then efficiency formula. You see, the efficiency formula is there. You have to write in 1 or 2 lines. Okay, that's it. No derivation. Okay, derivation are not there.
So the heater derivation is also not there.
No, just you have to write the efficiency formula. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
No derivation, and you have to write that expression in terms of enthalpy drop. You see what you are seeing, H1 minus H1, everything is there. No, you have to write in enthalpy drops. That's it. Okay, no derivation, just you have to write the equation. Okay, how you are having derivation in case of Otto cycle is not like that. We are not having the derivation, just you write the equation. Okay, explanation is most important. Okay, here. Okay, so whatever I shared in the Google Classroom, just you go through that much only. Okay, it's enough. Okay, don't go beyond that one. Around some 6 to 7 pages are there. Okay, theory, whatever. So I shared same thing I am showing here. Okay, some 7 pages are there. Just you read that much. Okay, all important things. Okay, concepts, regenerative cycle, everything is there. Okay, this one only you'll get in the exam. Okay, reheat Rankine cycle, whatever I explained till now, that's it. Okay. Just you have to draw the block diagram. Okay. Any doubts apart from this one? Okay. So concentrate main on block diagrams and TS diagram. Okay, that's it here in vapor power cycle. Rutik Shah.
Yes, sir.
Having any doubts? Okay.
No, sir.
Okay, do well there. Okay, all the material are there. I posted in the Google Classroom. Just go through, just analyze it. Okay, and I explained everything. Okay, so you do well. Okay, and we are having 5 questions out of 8 questions. You have to solve 5 full questions. Okay, no bits A, B, C like that. Okay, you are having direct 8 questions out of 8. You have to solve 5. Okay.
Okay, sir.
And you are having the test tomorrow at 2 p.m. Okay, in the afternoon 2 p.m. So okay. So mainly concentrate on the time factor. Okay, so it is 2-hour duration. In 2-hour duration, you have to finish all the 5 full questions and you have to submit. Okay, that is the most important thing. Okay, So don't write too much on one question and then writing the less for another question. Don't do like that. You give equal importance to all the questions. Okay. So around 120 minutes divided by 5. So you plan according to that one. And then how much? 5 to around 25 minutes for one question. So like that you do it, and then you have to finish the entire thing in 2 hours. Okay. Hope you understood all the concepts in psychrometrics. Okay, very easy chapter. Just you go through the definition. Okay, that's it. Just understand the psychrometric chart, and then psychrometric problem. I did one problem. Okay, without using the psychrometric chart, that kind of problem you have to analyze properly. How to use the steam table, so that I have posted the steam table also in the group. So everything you go through, you have to understand how to use the steam table, how to use the psychrometric chart. Okay. So based upon that one only, you are having the question. Okay. Okay, guys, do well in the tomorrow exam. Okay. All the best. Huh?
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.